So my guest this morning is Chris Danzl, and he had a hemorrhagic stroke. Um, and Chris will be sharing his inspiring journey as well. So please ask questions, comments, and if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. And let's go ahead and just get started. And I appreciate you guys being here already. I see a lot of you out here. So thank you for being here. All righty. Good morning. Hey, Robin, how are you? And again, please subscribe to YouTube. Let's Talk Stroke if you haven't done so. So let's go ahead and bring on my wonderful guest, Chris.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Chris. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah. So wow. So you probably since you're on your phone, you probably can't see all the comments, but there's a ton of people out here just wishing you good morning. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah,
Good morning,
absolutely.
everybody.
Yeah. So I love to start with who was Chris before your stroke?
Well, I was a go-getter. I was always on the move, always doing something, whether it be working or fishing or hunting or drinking or just having fun with my friends, whatever. It didn't matter. I just love being alive and doing stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So whatever. And then still to this day, I still love to work if I can, and then fishing, and not so much hunting so much anymore. But yeah, I just love to be active and doing stuff, I guess. And
Right. How old were you when you had your stroke?
43 years old.
Yeah.
5 days after my birthday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you know what do you know what caused your stroke, or was there anything underlying, or?
Yes. Well, they did a bunch of testing on me after my stroke, and they figured that it was because of my high blood pressure. My blood pressure was 250 over 135 when I got to the doctor's office or the emergency room.
Wow, 250. That's high.
Yeah, so something's got to give somewhere. I guess,
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because I always kind of dealt with some high blood pressure. Not ridiculous like that, but it was up in I kind of lost some weight, and then I was kind of when I had the blood pressure pills, it made me kind of dizzy, so the doctor had me stop taking them.
Oh,
well,
wow.
then I had to actually go back on my blood pressure pills after 5 or 7 years, whatever it was, because I was gaining some more weight back and stuff slowly.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden, when the pandemic hit, I just didn't want to do anything. I was so mad about everything. I just stopped kind of caring and eating really crappy foods and just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was bad deal.
Yeah. I mean, who would have thought, right?
Right. I mean, I was a pretty young, I still am a pretty young guy, I guess. But I just, all of a sudden, I was working on my vehicle, my pickup, out at the farm that I worked on.
Right.
And I was replacing the water pump gaskets on the water pump, and all of a sudden I just got done torquing the bolts down before I put the water back in, all that stuff, and something happened. Something just let loose in I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know, it was just a crazy deal. I can't even describe what happened. It was just all of a sudden something just hit me, like, oh my God. And I was able to limp around to get back in my pickup, and then I was going to drive home, but I just I don't have any water in my pickup. So I wound up calling 911, and
Wow.
It's a local, it's a very sparsely populated area where I live and stuff. And I knew the person that answered the phone at 911 at the dispatcher. She's like, her name is Deanne. I said, hey Deanne, how's it going? Like, no big deal. And she's like, okay, Chris, what's up? What's up? Why are you calling me? I said, well, I think I'm having a stroke. And she's like, oh, you're not having a stroke. What are you doing? And I said, oh, I'm working my pickup. And she thought that I was having some kind of carbon monoxide poisoning or something.
Wow.
But that was not the case, obviously.
Wow. So Yeah, I know that weird feeling. But you were able to move.
Yeah, well, I was able to limp around the backside of my pickup because the shop was full of stuff, like a
Yeah.
couple tractors and a service vehicle or pickup, whatever. Yeah, I was able to limp around the backside of my pickup. And I think now this is kind of funny because I think when I went around the backside of my pickup, my vehicle, whatever, my truck, I think I hit the receiver hitch with my right shin. So that really hurts, but I don't remember it hurting because I think I couldn't feel it.
Yeah.
But I heard the noise, boom. So whatever.
Wow, wow. So from there, did you fall down at all, or
No, I was able to get myself into my pickup, and I know I usually talked on a Bluetooth headset,
right?
and I had to I don't know how much I must have had to switch it over from Bluetooth to a regular speakerphone, I think is what happened. Again, that's kind of fuzzy, but a little bit. But anyways, and then while I was on the phone with 911, I was trying to text my girlfriend, my partner, whatever. I texted her. I said, honey, and then it just because I was able to type honey, but then I said just a bunch of gibberish, just a bunch
Yeah.
of letters, just like 3 or 4 sentences of just gibberish,
Yeah.
no words. And actually, when I got my phone back after my stroke, the draft was still on my phone. I should have saved that. I forgot to save it. I should have saved that just
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
show what it was, but it was just ridiculous. It was just so crazy.
Yeah.
You wouldn't
Oh,
believe it.
totally understand. So from there, what happened? You went to because you obviously went to the hospital.
Yes. Okay. So then the local ambulance in Stephen, Minnesota, they got dispatched. Well, they started driving down the road and they realized that it wasn't running right. So they had to turn around and call another neighboring town's ambulance to come get me. So it was like that was probably an extra half hour, maybe 40 minutes or so. So I was sitting there for a long time. One of my bosses came into the shop and then I just waved to him because I was on the phone, whatever. I just waved to him
Wow.
and he didn't realize that it was even happening. Like, yeah, it's a really crazy deal. And then my neighbor, she was a first responder. She's like, Chris, she just right in my face and just yelling at me. I was like, dude, just relax. It's fine. And yeah, just whatever. And then they meant because the hospital was 40-ish miles away.
Wow. Okay.
So then they met the actual hospital's ambulance in a town on the way to. It was in Grand Forks, the hospital. So, anyways, they got me from in Alvarado, and then they cut my shirts and stuff and my pants. I don't know. It's just crazy. And
Wow.
I remember going into the CT scan, and then that's kind of it. I couldn't remember anything much after that.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Wow. I, wow. So were you in the hospital a long time, or you just? It sounds like ICU. You were
I was
obviously.
in ICU for probably like, I don't know, 14, 15 days.
Wow. Okay.
ICU and then PCU. So, because I had to have a craniotomy too, So they took a chunk of my skull out and vacuum up all the blood and put a shunt in my head, I guess.
Right.
So I got some pins and screws and all that stuff to hold my head back together, and yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Um,
not only did I have a major stroke, I had major brain surgery at the same time. And then when I woke up, I don't remember much about waking up and talking to Tracy or my brother. I don't remember that.
yeah. Yeah.
All I know is that that when I woke up, there was I couldn't move my right side at all, zero. Like I couldn't. Yeah, I had no feeling, no movement, nothing, and I could say like 4 or 5 words. That was it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then the doctors were telling Tracy and my brother, like, yeah, I mean, we're gonna do this surgery. There's a good chance he's not gonna make it through the surgery. Well
Right.
then, and they said that if I do survive the surgery, he's probably going to be bedridden and just kind of a vegetable for the rest of his life. Well,
Yeah.
to hell with them. There's no way that I'm a vegetable. Jeepers creepers. I'm too stubborn for that, I guess,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because I'm looking at some of these questions here. Um, what's your one here? Could the paramedics tell that you were having a stroke?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
pretty, because I think I had some facial drooping too,
Right?
I couldn't hold my right arm up, for very long.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, there are so many we go through afterwards, or I mean, when the replay, you can see there's so many questions out here.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so you spent time in the hospital after ICU
Yep.
for rehab, and
I went to PCU, it's called, I think, after ICU. And then I was able to get cleared to go to in-house or in hospital rehabilitation,
right,
speech, occupational and physical therapy. Yeah.
right. So yeah, 'cause there was a question, what kind of yeah, I know a lot of people are saying, Chris, you speak really well.
Mhm.
You That's a wonderful speech therapy.
Yeah, thank you for sure. No, I mean, I don't understand how or why I was able to get everything back or this far back into the game of life, I guess, that type of thing. I don't know. I really don't.
Yeah,
I mean, thank God, it just, I mean, I have worked very, very hard. Um, Not so much about my speech, but my physical and my occupational stuff. Yeah, I'm always, what I say is that everything is therapy. Everything you do is therapy. Going to the bathroom, making a sandwich, frying some eggs, or mowing the grass. Just
yeah,
driving. Everything is therapy. Everything you do is some form of therapy.
absolutely,
Yeah.
100%. Um, so when did you regain? I'm looking. When did you regain your right arm?
Uh, I think it was like 3 or 4 days. I started getting little twitches, like
Ah,
I was able to move my fingers a little bit, and then like it's kind of hard. My what do you want to call it? My hand. I got
right.
really good feeling in it, which is crazy because
Yeah,
what I came from, because I couldn't feel anything at first. But my feet, like if I'm not looking, if they the doctors, the therapist try to touch my feet, I can feel it sometimes, but not all the time. You know what I mean? There's a little bit of numbness in my feet, I guess. So,
right, right. Yeah, so you still,
which is fine. I mean, whatever. It is what it is.
yeah,
So, but I mean, yeah, the only thing that I really have troubles with is going down going down steps. Like going up is fine. I mean, I can't just sprint up them, but I mean, I can definitely go upstairs just fine.
right.
Going down, I get kind of like nervous. I feel like my confidence is not there, type of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. But God, you're doing great though. What a
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's
And
oh yeah,
they say, you see these doctors, whatever, or the look on channels on YouTube and stuff, how they say that oh, you got a good recovery after a year, but after that you're gonna plateau and not regain much. Well, jeepers, I still am gaining all the time. I feel
yeah,
maybe
absolutely.
it's slower, but hey, it's something. It's getting better than it was, so good enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, your brain rewires itself, and every day is you celebrate all those little wins.
Yeah, thank God for neuroplasticity, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's funny that you say about the because I've been told that before. After about a year or so, this is it. That's you plateaued. You're not going to gain any more. Um, yeah, you're not going to. You plateaued because that's what I.
Right. No,
That's so
that is
cool.
completely false. You know what I mean? There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's great. So so like you're when you're mowing the lawn, are you on a tractor or
No, I just have a push mower just for
okay?
exercise because
Yeah,
I used to use my old bosses that I used to work for, they have a lawnmower right in town here. And
Right.
my old boss is my neighbor and stuff. So I would just use their lawnmower, a big rider, whatever. But yeah, I definitely just I just push my lawn because why not,
Yeah, it's good you can do that, you
Yep.
know?
I can still, like I said, I can still drive tractor. I can still, like last year, I seeded, I don't know, 3,000 acres of farmland, so whatever.
Wow, that's incredible.
hmm
Wow. So what's your like daily routine?
Well, I wake
Or do
up
you
and
have one?
I wake up, get my coffee going,
Yep.
watch a little bit of YouTube and a little bit of the news, and just have my coffee. And then after a while, I'll go start doing some stretching, and then
Wow.
yeah, just kind of do whatever I gotta do. I guess. I mean, I'm not really busy, but I always find something to do, type of thing. I guess. So
Right,
yeah.
right. Wow. So are you able to drive?
Yes. Yep.
Nice.
My occupational therapist, she made me or gave me a driving lesson. She's like, we just went to a empty parking lot at my rehab, whatever, and she's like, well, I don't see why you can't drive. So, but now the state always looks or send me a letter saying you got to prove that I need a doctor's slip, or note to say that you're still
Oh,
okay to
really?
drive. So, yeah,
Wow. Where do you live? You live in
Stephen, Minnesota. It's in the
Minnesota.
northwest corner of Minnesota.
Yeah, small little town.
30 miles from Canada. Canada, eh?
Yeah, that's funny because there's a lot of people out here from Canada.
Yeah,
So, wow, okay, 30 miles from Canada.
yeah, and then yeah, um, I go fishing as much as I possibly can. That's my favorite thing to do, I guess. And
Right?
yeah, like this winter, I won't end up going to Lake Winnipeg 3 or 4 times by myself, even
Right.
ice fishing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. Um, but yeah, this is there's some I love getting the coffee. Coffee. And there's so many. Cody,
comments.
been
Yeah,
4 months into my recovery, and I mowed the yard last week, and it wore me out big time. I'm starting
but I
to
bet it felt good.
get. Do you have any nerve damage? Do you feel any kind of? I'm seeing some of the comments about that.
Yeah, I mean, my dexterity is not what it once was, obviously, but I mean, yeah, I can feel everything as long as, yeah, I don't know. It's different, but it's not very bad. You know what I mean? Good
Yeah,
enough.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is Lynette out here saying great accent.
Yeah.
That's yeah, that's funny. We are all yeah. I these comments. I just get so into these things. But wow, so it sounds like you really doing good. Do you? I mean, I have these because I'm thinking of stroke survivors. Do you limp or like me
A
walk right
little bit,
into
but a little bit, but not too much, like if I start walking, like I don't know how to say this, but like I'll walk for like 45 minutes to an hour, and
wow.
towards the end I'll start getting kind of a limp, because I think
Yeah,
I'm getting tired, type of thing.
yeah,
But yeah, like I would say people can't tell that I've had a stroke, you know what I mean?
sure,
But
sure. Yeah,
yeah,
people. Wow. Yeah, because I know people keep going. That's a lot of people say you're too young to have a stroke. You don't look like you've had a stroke. I mean, that's what people say to me.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's a bad thing, because
yeah,
people don't understand like what it's like, it's just like, yeah,
yeah,
like I don't even know how to describe it, because people think like, oh, you look fine,
yeah,
why can't you just do like you or act like you used to, because I mean I'm not the same person, I was just a really good, like a smart ass, or
right.
just I love to make people laugh and just be stupid and just have a good time.
Yeah,
And now that spontaneity or whatever, the um all that stuff is kind of gone, I guess. It's not gone, but it's not prevalent as in my life, type of thing.
yeah, yeah.
So
I know.
yeah, I mean, it's just such a different thing now. I don't know if it's because I almost died that I'm not as charismatic as I used to be, type of thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like I didn't care.
yeah.
I don't know. It's just weird. Yeah, I
I
don't know.
I
It's weird.
I think we all understand the because I know what you've been through, although you know what I've been through, and that's the difference. But people that don't have or didn't have a stroke, they don't quite get it. I don't want to take it away from people that, I mean, they, I don't want to bash anybody, but they don't. We know we went through. I mean, you know what I went through. It's
Right.
different.
And then they say that that no stroke is the same. I know that, but I
Right.
mean, yeah, they're very similar. A lot of them. So whatever.
Yeah.
Like when I first had my stroke, I had a little bit of a like a dead spot in my eye. My peripheral vision was a little bit messed up. Just a little
Yeah.
bit. But
Yeah.
now it's the same. It's just everything's fine. It's just perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Our friend Serena here in Canada says to you, sounds like you've mentally got it together.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I was a pretty tough time like last year. I was in kind of a dark spot. But
Yeah.
I talk to a therapist pretty much every week. And
Nice.
just to try to figure out what my next step in life is going to be. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Right. Right. Is yeah. So you were 43 when you had your stroke.
hmm
How long ago was that?
3 years and a little change, like 3 months
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So February 15th, 2021.
Yeah. There. Um. Do you see colors?
Yes.
You do. How fun. Okay. Someone's
Vibrant
asking.
vibrant colors. Everything's just my vision is the same. Like I said, I a
Okay.
little bit on the bottom left of my peripheral
Yeah.
vision, a little bit as at first, but after about 6 months or maybe a year, it was gone. I mean, it wasn't enough to even talk about. It was just a little bit, not
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. Wow. So, yeah, I always say stroke is
I'm so lucky. I really am. There's no doubt about it. We're all lucky. If we survive.
yeah.
Because if you guys ever heard of Kirby Puckett, that's the same stroke killed him is the one that I had, I guess.
Right.
That's what I was told, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Wow. It, it's amazing. So Danae here says you're the same age as him. There's
Oh
so
yeah.
many people. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he had kaleidoscope vision.
Okay.
Yeah. Dustin on MI 45. Yeah. So it's kind of crazy how stroke, and I appreciate you guys that are here that have not been here before. The ones I see of people here appreciate it, and asking questions. There's yeah. Okay, so John is saying his stroke was February 14th, 2021, one day before your stroke.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So now, I mean, you're doing so much better than when you first had your stroke. You had a craniotomy. Um,
hmm
wow. Well, do you feel it? I mean, do you feel anything in your head anymore? Any kind? No seizures?
No, no seizures. I do get some neural fatigue sometimes. I think.
Yeah.
Um, they say that when your affected arm gets like there's cement in it. I
Yep.
do get that once in a while. Not
Okay.
very often, but probably once a week at the most. I don't know, just once in a while.
Wow.
But it
Okay.
doesn't last that long. It doesn't seem like.
Right. Right.
I don't really take naps either. Like it's just weird. I don't know. Like when I was sitting in the hospital, when I was doing the rehab after my stint in the ICU and stuff.
Hmm.
I remember just sitting there thinking, like, if I was just sitting there by myself watching TV, I just thought to myself, I'd never even had a stroke. Oh wait, when I had to move something, oh yeah, I
Yeah.
did have a stroke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. It's crazy.
Right. Right. So no headaches. I see comment or
No,
tremors. No comments. Comments. No tremors or or headaches?
No, like I was having headaches before my stroke, obviously probably because of the high blood pressure.
Yeah.
But I've had maybe in 3 years or so, I've had maybe 3 headaches at the most.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know, very few. Yeah.
Right. Wow. Wow. So yeah, I know you get complacent with when COVID was going on,
Hmm.
just, I mean, I know I did, didn't do any really therapy. But you're right. You do doing anything is therapy. And it sounds like you
Right.
do that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Just grabbing the remote and turning the channel is therapy, if you ask me. Just anything is therapy, I feel.
Right. Well, so what would you tell people that are going through, well, a stroke and they're kind of newbies and, they're feeling depressed and how when you first have your stroke, you're not feeling the best.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I don't know what snapped in my head, whatever. Well, I've always been kind of a hard worker, and kind of
Sure.
stubborn, I guess. But you just got to keep on doing rehab. Just keep on. I couldn't use a utensil to eat with,
Yeah.
and after a while, I had that big handle deal, like that foam rubber deal on the handle of the fork,
Yes.
Um, After a while, I was able to get rid of that, and then after a while, it was kind of hard. But then, yeah, it's like now it's like I can hardly tell that I have a deficit. It's like I don't know. It just after a while, the more you do stuff, the more better you get at stuff. Type of thing. Just got to keep on keeping on. I know it's an old wives' tale, whatever you want to call it, but that's what you got to do. You got to
Yeah.
keep on just repeating. Yeah, wash and repeat every time. Just keep on doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So you really, you don't have any, um, um, what do you call it? So bathing and all that stuff, you're good to go and all that.
Yeah, I had a couple of support bars, or what do you want to call those handles, put in the bathtub,
Yeah.
or the shower or whatever. And I mean, I use them a little bit just to get in and out, just I grab onto it just in
Yeah.
case. But yeah, I know when I first had it, yeah, I couldn't do it. I mean, my girlfriend had to, or Tracy had to help me bathe, I guess, right away.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, pretty much completely. What do you want to call it? Not carefree, but
I know what you're saying. I can't. I know.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty much independent type of thing. I could live on my own right now. I can go
Right.
grocery shopping. I can go do it. Yeah, I could pretty much do anything. But I put my mind to it.
Sure. Yeah. Appreciate life.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
That that's awesome. I'm really happy for you, proud of you, and I
Yeah.
appreciate you sharing. Anything else you want to that we haven't covered about your stroke? I mean,
Oh, I mean, we can talk about anything. I don't care. What I mean, yeah, I'm not scared. Just whatever. Just yeah. I mean, like I said, it's my stroke happened because of my blood pressure. And for some reason, I just have hypertension. Here we are, and I just stopped caring about life because of that pandemic stuff. And yeah, here we are. It's my own fault, but yeah, I
yeah.
just and when I first had my stroke, I remember thinking to myself, well, this is no big deal. I'll just work hard and it'll come back as good as I can and good enough.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the friends I used to have, they kind of, I mean, they're still my friends, but they never want to do anything, type of thing, So, and that's okay for the most part, I guess, because they're busy. They got, now there's families and stuff, all that stuff, whatever. But yeah, I get kind of lonely sometimes, but I
Yeah.
guess I'm able to deal with that pretty good now. I kind of realize that, hey, life is not a big party. I get it. People have things to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No children. No children.
No, I've never had a child. No.
Okay.
Tracy, yeah, just never did have a
Yeah.
kid.
It was just a question out there, so I thought I'd
Yeah.
throw that out there. But
And I've
wow.
never been married. I was engaged once, and
Okay.
then she left me, and then I met Tracy maybe 6 or 7 years later, and we're kind of engaged, but we're not married. Like I
Right.
asked her to marry me a few years ago, a couple of years ago, whatever, and we just don't want to do this or get engaged or get married because of we don't know if that makes sense to get married or not. Like there's
Yeah.
no rush,
Right.
so whatever.
Yeah. No. Good for you. Good for
Yeah.
you. Well, that's awesome. Let's see.
And then if it wasn't for Tracy, I don't know where I'd be. All I can say that because she just is. I don't know what it is, but if I'm doing that for her or what's going, I don't know. I just.
Yeah.
But like, if it wasn't for her, I don't know where I would be. Like, I don't know if I would be able to be as far as long as I am right now, type of thing.
Right.
So
Right. Wow. Great, inspiring story.
yeah,
Yeah. I really appreciate you being on here. This is awesome.
yeah, thank you. And then I applied for a job mowing grass for the city of Argyle. It's a neighboring town.
Right.
I haven't heard back from them, but we'll see. If I don't get it, that's okay. I guess whatever. Like I
Yeah.
said, I just got to figure out what's going to happen with me next. So
Yeah. Well,
my dream was always to be a fishing guide up at Lake of the Woods because I
right.
got a big boat, and I
Right.
wanted to use that as a charter boat, to take people out fishing. Well, I could probably do it yet, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know if it's gonna happen or not. Because sometimes it's hard for me to get into the boat type of thing now,
Yeah.
like
Understand.
harder to me. So whatever. But yeah, I guess that there's things I could do, probably build some railings or some stuff on the dock and stuff.
Right.
But we
Yeah.
haven't done that yet. And yeah, I mean, things are just getting easier all along. So yeah.
Yeah. Man, it sounds good for you. I
And
mean,
like my strength is not what it once was, because I used to be a really super strong guy. Like I could lift a car pretty much. Big deal. But
yeah.
and now it's like, yeah, I'm definitely weaker than I used to be, but it's not. I mean, I can lift stuff. Like I can lift like my fish house, my portable fish house. I can lift that in the back of my pickup, no problem. So
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Things change.
Yeah, it's changed a
Obviously.
little bit. Yeah, so here we are.
Right. Right.
Just got to adapt and overcome.
Yeah. Yeah. You're doing great, Chris.
Mhm.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're doing great too.
Just like you said, got to keep on keeping on.
So, can I ask you a question? Like, what made you start this channel? Like, what was your inspiration for that?
I thought I was the only one that had a stroke. I didn't, because I really didn't understand stroke when I had mine. So
Right.
so I finally started talking to people, and um, this came 6 years ago. Started doing this, and I follow some people out there on YouTube, and I saw them doing it. I said, well, why can't I do that? Starting to, but it's a passion for me. I thought my banking career was like the thing, but
Yeah.
it's really, this is it. Just to really, be inspired about other stroke survivors and know we're not alone. There's a lot of people
Right.
out there,
Yeah.
but yeah. So, but I appreciate you asking that.
Hmm.
But yeah, it is, Lynette. Great story you have. But
Yeah. So, when you had your stroke, what happened with that? Like, how did you? Like, what happened to you? Like, can I ask you that? Or is that
oh,
okay?
absolutely. When you have your stroke, you're like an open book. So,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, mine kind of similar. So I was walking into my bedroom, and all of a sudden I stopped. I couldn't feel. It was like you said. It was the weirdest feeling. I couldn't believe it. I kept thinking, okay, this is it. I mean, I didn't know what was happening. So I had kids and my wife at home, and they left me in the bed. Paramedics got there, went to the hospital. They took me to another one because my brain was still bleeding, and then I got to there. went to a trauma thing, and then I was in ICU for 9 days, and then they put me right to rehab inpatient for 2.5 months.
Oh yeah. Yeah, when I was sorry, I was going to tell you that the my inpatient rehab lasted 23 days because I was doing so well, they said.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, so when I was in when I first started that, it was 23 days. The first day I went there, it took like 3 or 4 people, therapists, to get me to walk 20 feet, okay?
Right.
Because I went from a wheelchair to a walker to a cane to nothing now. I don't even use anything now, No, there's no point, But
yeah,
anyways, this one therapist, he just kind of helped out on the weekends. I think I went there on like a Friday or a Saturday. The first day that they tried to get me to walk, it took like 3 or 4 people to get me to walk 20 feet. Well, then 23 days later, or 20 days later, I think it was, he was out there on a weekend again to help out. And he couldn't believe it. He goes, "Can I shake your hand?" I said, "Well, what for?" And he said, I'm so impressed with how far you come along. Like, he couldn't believe it, he said.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
That's a great compliment there.
Yeah, for sure.
Instead of saying you plateaued, this is all you're going to be like this forever.
No, like I said, I mean, I feel like I'm gaining still. It just,
yeah.
I don't know. So, and as long as you feel that way, that's a very good thing, That plateauing stuff kind of sucks. It's like, kind of get kind of in a little funk. You're like, this kind of whatever. Do I want to do my therapy today?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you just got to do it. You just got to keep on doing it. Otherwise, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if a guy would go backwards so much to speak, but yeah, I mean, I just feel like, I just got to keep on doing your therapy. And I do a lot of stretching. That's one thing that I really like to do is stretching.
Wow. Good for you.
Not so much for yoga. I've never done like actual yoga, but I do a lot of stretching. There's a thing, a YouTube channel called Post Stroke.
Right.
And that one there is a good, I do a lot of her therapies that she does.
Wow.
So that's a good one to follow if people are
okay.
somebody to follow.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Post Stroke.
Okay.
I think her name is Elise, I think. She's just a really good occupational therapist. And yeah, she started this channel and she just like, there's a lot of good techniques and good ideas for people that had strokes, I guess. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you can get something out of it, then working for you.
Traumatic, so
yeah, good stuff there. Well, I appreciate you being here, and Chris, we'll have to do it again sometime.
That sounds great.
Very, very positive outlook on life. I love it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. But we'll stay in touch, and people are saying I follow her Facebook page. You're the gal you're saying. So
Yep. Elisa, I think her name is. She's like I said, she's pretty straightforward. She just has a lot of good ideas for people that had strokes or brain injuries. So yeah.
Right. Wow. All right, my friend.
All right.
We'll talk to you later, and man, thank you so much for being here.
You betcha, man. You have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. That sounds